Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a running low pressure and thin paint. We've got another one. We've got two brushes today and two brushes that are near enough identical. I'm going to need your help on this as well, so drop your comments if you know a little bit about these. Now we're looking at the Richpen. I've got an original Richpen here. We've got a 112A Apollo, so this is the one. Now if you've seen the Sotar video that was on the channel, the Sotar Slim that's got the little chamber to the top where you put minimal drops of paint, this brush is basically like that, where you've got a little scallop where you put minimal paint. So if any of you guys like them brushes, stick around because you're going to like this one, because this is a brilliant brush, it really is. Now this is, I would say, the smallest brush that I own, as in size of brush. If you didn't have this piece on it here, it would be like you was holding a biro pen with a little trigger out the top. They're tiny, they really are very sleek. There's no cutaway or adjusters on these, they're just a sleek finished chrome back, so it's a very small airbrush, very neat and compact. So that's the one we're looking at. Now to find these, there's not many places that stock them. I don't know anywhere in the UK that stocks them. So when I went onto Google, typed in Richpen, and the first site that came up was this site. Clicked on it and it brought up the one that I've got, which is the Apollo 112A on a 02. Tells you a little about the brush. Then you've got the Apollo 112B. Now the 2B has a cup to the top, so it's basically that brush but has a little cup to the top. Now on my travels, going to see my folks, I went into a charity shop and picked up what I thought was a Richpen. When I seen it, I thought, nah, that's a Richpen. And it just says Rich down the side. And this one is the AB 200. Now that is identical to the 112B. Everything about it is identical. When I held these up together, looking at both brushes, they absolutely mirror match one another. Front ends, both bodies, rear bodies fit, both triggers identical, needle and nozzles exactly the same. So drop your comments, guys, if you know anything about the Rich, just the Rich of airbrushes, not the Richpens. But I think they must be made in the same factory or something, or close to, nearby. But it's identical. So we're going to give these two a run today. We've got one with a cup and we've got the original Richpen, the one without the cup. Both running 02s, so we'll see what they're both like. They should perform exactly the same. Even when I took all the pieces apart, they're identical on the builds and everything. So that's the brush we're going to try today, but we'll try both of them. We're going to do a little bit of shading with these. I've got a different paint mix as well. I've been using the FW inks on the last couple. We're going to switch it up, and I'm using Wicked, version 2 Wicked, with just isopropanol mix. So I've got some of it mixed here, very thin. This is the paint that I've been using to do some of my A3 portraits and my miniatures, the ones that I've been doing on credit card style portraits, that sort of size. So it's a real nice thinned out mix. So we're going to start off with 20 psi, and then we're going to knock these brushes right down until you virtually stop in the air, and just seeing how fine we can get the spray. So move you in closer, let's crack on. Right guys, there's the Richpen 112A. Really sleek little brush. We'll take the crown cap off. We've got it at 20 psi. We'll do a half and half, so we'll do the Richpen 112A and then we'll do the AB 200 over here. So straight in on dots. Now you're not going to see that, but that is instant, straight down on pinpoint dots, like bang, hit it straight away. And then tiny precision lines coming down, little dagger stroke lines. boom, straight away, and then we'll do a real Look how fine that brush gets down. Super down. Straight the way, bang, pencil lines, tiny dots, pencil dots like you just tapped a pencil to the page, tiny little lines. Nice bit of shading, and this is at 20 psi. Bigger lines, like that. We'll drop it down, bring that down. Cool, crikey, really responsive trigger. Yeah, straight the way. I think we're out of paint. Didn't put a lot of paint in there. Straight the way down. Yeah, very nice on detail. Super down. Really does get down ridiculously small. That's crazy down. That really is. I think we might have a little bit of dirt in that. I think we're just pulling a little bit of dirt through on there. You can just see it. So that's the 112A. Silly down on detail. I mean, that's really tight on the details. Just clean that through. This brush has been sitting on the side for quite some time, so it may need a little bit of a clean, I'd say. I mean, it's had a quick blast through, but not a proper clean since I've used it. We'll now switch over to the AB200. Now, same needle and nozzle setup. We're going to see if we can hit what we've hit there. That's sort of down. Now, yeah, instantly again, straight the way. Tiny little dots. I mean, I'm struggling to see them. Yeah, it's identical on what it can do. Very nice triggers on these. They're low down, they're very responsive. Yeah, mirror matched. It really is. Tiny little dagger strokes, getting right down. These are about 2 to 3 mil dagger strokes. Probably this is about 2 mil. Bring that pressure down. Bring it down. There you go. Yeah, they're about 2.5 mil, 3 mil dagger strokes. Tiny little flicks. Really nice on. I mean, this is low pressure. This is very low. And it atomises really soft. I mean, the paint's really thin, which helps. But for a brush to atomise it like that when it's really low down as well. And clean at low pressure. Really nice, like that. It's just instant on the trigger. It just feels like I'm pressing down. Yeah, lovely brush. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And this was £2.95 from a charity shop. You ain't going to get a cheaper brush that can perform better than that for £2.95. I mean, that is clean. Low pressure. Really soft. No breaks in them lines. So they both perform the same. They're the same brush at the end of the day. They really are. Between the two, they both get ridiculously down. Super fine. Lovely atomisation. I like this one. I like the one with the scallop, but I like this miniature type cup on the top of this one. I really do. Everything else, it just feels like I'm holding the other brush, but it's just got a cup on the top. Do spot any of these two on your travels or any sites. I definitely reckon that Rich AB200, brilliant. And the other one, because it's identical, it's just got a cup on the top. Just drop your comments, guys. They both perform the same. Both 02s, both got identical trigger tops. Rear body screw in the same in each. Absolutely identical. On build quality and everything. Both perform the same. Both get down exactly the same. Same feel in the triggers. But I'm liking this one as well because this was second hand. So this one is older than this one. So it's an older brush, so it's been used. So the springs are that little bit more bedded in. It's just a little bit more bedded in. I can tell that. The other one's a lot newer. It's not been used much. I probably used that about 3 or 4 times max. And this one just went boom, straight down and in. This one a little bit fiddly, needs a bit of a clean. But they both perform really, really good. So there you go, guys. You've seen both of them perform. Both of them performed amazing. They really did. 2 great brushes, 2 that I'd recommend as well. One, a legit Richpen, the Apollo 112A with the scallop. Gets ridiculously down, it does. Really small, neat little brush, compact. And then you've got the Rich, which is the AB200, which is identical, and that thing performed again super down on detail. Really nice atomisation on it. Identical feel to the other one in your hand, but you've just got a cup. And that one was £2.95 from a charity shop, boxed with all the original paperwork in it, so it was like an absolute bargain. So if you see one of these and you don't know whether to buy it, you've just seen what it can do and how it sprays. They are brilliant. They really are. They work brilliantly. They really do. Can't fault it for a brush. And the other one, can't fault them. Really nice brushes. Richpen made in Japan, and that's got to be obviously out the back door of the same factory. I don't know. Drop your comments if you've heard of them, but I think they're brilliant. So I hope you've enjoyed it. We've got loads more brushes to test. Running these low pressures, thin paints. It's just nice to see what you can bring them down to and how the brush responds, because all the brushes will react differently at low pressures. It's like the Sotar. When I work the Sotar, it feels very free. The air on the Sotar just pumps air out, but you drop it down and it's like unreal. Same as the Iwata. We tried the Iwata on low pressure. Now, so far out of the low pressure videos I've done, that for me is the one where I tested this one for a start. This one did it the easiest on what it could do. It was like, the detail on that was mind-blowing, it really was, and the way it flowed with the different cut. So trying these brushes, you do get different results with them, and it's nice to go through my collection because I've not really gone through them all. Just trying this these going down details, low pressure, tweaking the pressure, tweaking the paint mix. I've always ran at a consistent 20, always sort of airbrushed around 20 psi, because I've been using like artist acrylics. It's only since now I've moved over to the inks and then mixing the Wicked with the ISO, it's really thinned it down, and it's like, whoa, right, now we can try this brush, we can try this brush. I've got a load of brushes up there that I want to try these mixes with, and then you'll just see what they're like, and then you get to see what they're like running other styles of paint, which I think is really good, because a lot of beginners will be whacking the pressure up, thick bodied acrylics, trying to thin them down, and they'll be trying to get these details down, running real high pressures, and it's like, you've got to be on point with your trigger if you've got high pressure and you're pushing thickish bodied paint through it and you're trying to get this. You will struggle if you're trying to hit that with thick paint. It just won't happen. So tweaking it, bringing the pressures down, seeing what the brushes are like, I just think it's a nice one to run through with you so you get to see them. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Drop your comments, tell me your thoughts, especially on the two pens, one being a Rich, one being a Rich pen. And I'd like to know a little bit more info on that. And I'll see you in the next one. Click that subscribe, press the notification, like, shares, it all helps the channel grow, guys, it really does. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video when we move on to the Bart. We're doing the Bart background on the picture. We've got the Sotar running and we've got that iWater side feed running as well. So you'll get to see both brushes run low pressure and do a little bit on the background of this piece of artwork. So I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.